Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to How Love Bites. My partners with me today, Steve, my co-host. I'm Dennis, and we got an interesting one for you today. And our show today is all about how to exit stage left when you are either in a meet and greet, if you're in a relationship. I think we're going to stay away from a pending divorce because that gets a little too sticky. So let's just work with the meet and greet, with dating and relationships, and we'll see where that takes us. We may have a couple of callers come in, and if they want to pursue it a little further, then we'll take that a little further as we go forward. So, Steve, do you want to pick it up from the exit strategy?
Well, thank you, Dennis. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me back.
Ladies and gentlemen.
And Dennis, as Dennis mentioned, we're going to talk about exiting today. The great part of the relationship is the beginning. It's harps and springs and cupids and everything is ducky, but with every beginning there's an ending, right? At least in most of these cases. So we're going to talk about exiting, and we're going to talk about how to do it the right way and some things that people do the wrong way, and maybe some ways for the guys that they can exit gracefully, because as we said on the show, we may look rough and tumble, but we're really just two lovers, not together, but we are just two guys who give love bites and have love bitten. He's going to choke me out. We're two guys that have given love bites and have gotten love bitten. And so exiting is an important thing. It's, as we mentioned before, Dennis, online dating just puts everything on steroids, right? It's fast. Mm-hmm. It's a bigger pond, a lot more fish, a lot more chance to winnow down your categories, your selections, and strike up, go from hitting like to messaging and conversation. So because of that, there's going to be more coming and going by its nature, right? Mm-hmm. That's a good thing. True. That's a bad thing. You're going to catch more fish, and some are going to be minnows, some are going to be ugly fish that you don't want, some are going to be beautiful fish. So in that process, exiting is important. And I think the timing of the exit and knowing that there's probably going to be an exit is also an important thing to know. Are you exiting very early in the online process? Well, then that's not going to be very painful. Is it kind of midstream in the process, or is it when you've been dating for a long time? And we got to think about what is the thing you've told me over and over again, Dennis. When you're doing online dating, if you start talking with someone and then they ghost you and they go away, well, it's online dating. That's not rejection, really, right? But as human beings, we can have a rejection conflict. So what would you say about that first? Because we're going to talk about exiting, but how does rejection come into this? And what do we do to protect ourselves?
As I think I've said in the past, rejection is really a momentary thing in our lives. But we sometimes need to suffer rejection, because we're never going to move ahead. We're never going forward if we don't. So if we don't approach that person and attempt to make a connect, and we look back and somebody else does. I don't know if you've ever been in that situation where you'll be scoping a girl out all night, wherever it was, and then, you're trying to get up the courage, you're really trying. And she looks over at you, smiles a couple times, and you're still trying to get that courage. Not quite there, And then some other guy swoops in, okay? Mm-hmm. Some other guy swoops in, and there goes your chance. There goes your chance.
They're going for the kill.
And they're out on a dance floor, and she's just having a wonderful time with him. Mm-hmm. And you're looking, now that's a regret.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not a rejection.
Because you failed.
Because you
failed that.
You didn't have the courage. You didn't have the confidence. Yeah. Confidence is probably one of the greatest virtues, I think, or characteristics that you can have in life, period. Yeah. As long as you know how to temper it, and confidence doesn't control you, you control it. Mm-hmm. I think it can be a wonderful addition to your tool chest when you're out there attempting to find someone. So confidence is big, but that exit strategy, oh my.
Well, I mean, and it's, I guess your point too is it's not a rejection. If someone else beats you to asking the lady to dance, or if the person starts talking to you and they go away, you got to put your armor on a little bit with this online dating, because there's going to be a lot of fishing.
But what you're doing is that's the first rudimentary parts of a regret.
Yeah.
Now you're building a regret.
Right.
And the last thing you want to be doing is going back.
Right.
In your brain or the next day after you go home alone,
Mm-hmm.
or it didn't work out. And I'm probably talking more of a dance club or maybe a bar or something. Instead of a dating site.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And you go home alone, and then you regret. You sit there and wallow in your regrets.
Well, so how? Let's talk about exiting specifically. What advice would? I'm newer to the online dating thing and the post 50 dating thing. So you've been around so long. When your memories are,
Oh my God,
your memories are in black and white.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they have sound.
Oh,
But anyway.
Okay.
Anyway.
We
So
will be getting the editor. On this.
what advice would you have for people though? I think one of the things is, you're gonna have an exit. You want to do
Well,
it. You want to do it gracefully. You want to do it nicely. You don't want to burn bridges, even if you never talk to them again. There's no reason to be crude or cold, right? You want to be
Exiting requires a strategy.
okay.
Just like the meet and greet itself
Mm.
requires strategy.
Sure.
I mean, you just can't. It's nice to think you can just go up there and wing it.
Mm-hmm.
But you really have to have kind of something in the background, because if A isn't working, you want to work B, your plan B. So exit strategies. Of course, you want to do them with kindness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because you don't know people. A lot of people out here are broken people. So
Sure.
you don't want to be putting them in a garage with a full tank of gas with the door shut.
Right.
You just don't.
Right.
But you also have to consider that sometimes in you're exiting or you're getting out of it doesn't really require let's hug each other and cry a while and say, but we're not for each other and it's not a match.
Right.
I think if there are things that you see when you first sit down at the table, like for instance, maybe, the babushka, I mean, that can come off. Okay. You can take the babushka, no big deal. But if she's got that lamp, that headlamp that goes a little, I mean, you don't know which one to follow. If that one goes like 11 Eddie on you, it's up here somewhere, and you don't know if you should stand up and look at that one or the other one. You're already concocting an exit strategy. Because
Allow me to speak. Let me translate Chicago police to English. My crude friend is saying, when he says headlamp, he's talking about what if one eye is going one way and one's the other? How do you know which
Did
one?
you ever have that happen? I mean,
Okay.
you
I was trying to shut it down.
Yeah, I noticed you weren't, but I just got to roll with that sucker, boy.
Oh
'Cause
boy,
sometimes
Dennis.
you don't know which one to look at. It's like Barney Feldman.
You look at the
You
one
don't know
that's
which one.
not. You look at the one that's not the lazy eye.
Yeah, but what happens if they change laziness? And the other becomes
but part of our viewing audience, someone may have a fetish for that. They may like that. So if they go all 11 Eddie on you, it may not be a bad thing. The point is I think where you're going, and I'm going to reel you back in here like Marceau. Your point is, for some reason, it's not working. Forget about the 11 Eddie.
Don't worry. Yeah, don't worry about the kindness.
Then
bail on it.
But Dennis, I'm going to take counterpoint. You're going to be kind. You're going to be clear.
I am very kind.
You're going to be clear, but you're going to be kind. There's no reason.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
So-
again, these are hurt people. You don't want to hurt them any further.
Yeah, and you
It's
don't.
not my intention.
Right, and hurt
And I
people
don't
hurt
think it-
people. You don't want to do that.
That's correct.
We don't want to go down that. We don't advocate
No,
that on this show.
No.
Treat everyone with respect. We love
Yeah.
everyone.
But I did know a guy that, I think he was with some woman and she had a glass eye. And
You're just not going to let this go.
I'm on it like a shrew. Okay, but it did pop. It did pop.
Again, ladies
And
and
they were
gentlemen,
chasing.
we love
I think they were
everyone.
chasing around the kitchen, if I remember correctly. We could call them. I could get a better feel for it, I
So,
could put it on our list.
So, Dennis, thanks for that transition. So, maybe to keep you on task, I'm going to give some examples. We've solicited some input and talked to some people. We've done some research,
Next.
and we've heard some exit lines.
Yeah.
And I'm going to throw a couple out. I think we just used Dennis as what we would call a negative example. That was a negative example, citing the the headlight that's pointing the wrong way.
Okay.
But let me throw a couple at you.
Yeah.
So, what if you just, first of all, instead of saying something, what if you just ghost them? Is that a good idea? You're gonna want to exit and you just ghost them. You just go off the screen.
Well, just think about how you would feel if that happened.
Right.
If you were on the receiving end.
Right.
I mean, not a good idea.
Right.
And will I say that I've never ghosted anybody? No, because I have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm not proud of that. I have learned considerable amounts of characteristics and traits that I now possess,
Mm-hmm.
and going into a relationship, or even trying to maybe, manage to strategically exit out of a relationship.
Okay.
But I'm talking at the meet and greet
Right.
level now. I'm
Okay.
not talking about relationships
All right.
as they're full.
But that's meet and greet, but
You
it
know.
would also apply if you're doing online chatting for a couple days or whatever.
Well, of course, yeah.
All right, so ghosting should be no, really, anytime. It's better to put a
Ghosting,
little
bad.
capstone on it and say, hey, it was nice chatting with you, but I don't think
Well,
we're not a
you
manager.
can, right? You can say that. You
Okay.
can say,
Okay.
I'm really
Okay.
thinking that I had a great time.
Yeah.
I think you're wonderful.
Yeah.
It's just that I don't think I think you maybe you want to stay away from the chemistry factor.
Yeah.
You don't want to
'Cause
say
that gets
we don't
personal.
have chemistry.
That gets
right?
personal.
It
That
does.
gets personal.
It does. But I think you can say, and not to being too hurtful,
Mhm.
is to just say, I don't think we're a match.
Yeah. I
You
think,
know?
and I think that's a good
I
one.
mean, and you could give it back to them.
Yeah.
But if they're really into you,
Yeah.
okay, and you say something like that, they're going to try and stand their ground. They're going to try and convince you
Mhm.
why they are worth it,
Mhm.
and or they're going to take that turn on you, and they're going to say, well, you know what, screw you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
who do you think you are?
Yeah.
And then now where do you go?
Well, that's not good.
Now
It's not
you
good.
go back to the glass eye thing. You never.
Cut.
The
cut.
11 Eddie.
All right.
11 Eddie.
So here's one out of Dennis's bag of tricks. This is one of Dennis's lines.
Uh-oh.
I'll give you a call.
Oh,
What does that mean
That
when
is,
you-
that is
What does that mean when you say, we're going to translate from cop to English here? What does that mean?
Okay.
Dennis?
Well, what I have done in the past, again, not trying to hurt anyone,
Mhm.
but just trying to leave it kind of vanilla. Okay, if there is such a
Sure.
description, is I'll just say, listen, take care of yourself, and I'll give you a call.
So we've established
So-
that when you say, I'll give you a call, it is a vague reference and kind of like a ending salutation.
Yeah, I would probably say that,
Okay.
that it is, and
Just in
I
case
don't.
any of you ever
I
date
only
Dennis,
say
you know,
that because my skill level of being able to say other things at that time, that is the old Dennis would have said that,
Okay.
Not
Not the new and improved Dennis.
at all. No.
Okay.
The new one approved would have an NDA agreement drawn up.
Well,
with copies,
All right.
one for her, one for me.
I'm shocked I'm going to do this, but I'll bite. What would the new Dennis say?
Ooh. Well, I think that I would go more with the I'm sorry, but I mean, let me get your feelings. I don't think we're a match. How do you feel?
Yeah.
I mean, I would at least give it to them.
So what you just did
So-
is you kind of gave them a negative indication, I'm
Well, I
not sure,
kind of prepped them.
but then you told them for them to say it. So psychologically, they feel like they're participating or saying.
Well, they might want
You
to
gave
say
them the opportunity
they
to
might
punch
want
out.
to save face.
Well, they could tell because of the first half of your sentence you said.
Right.
Okay.
Well, but yeah, if I say I don't think we're a match, then
Yeah. All right.
I think-
What about we can be friends?
ooh, the dreaded.
We can be friends.
The dreaded. I think it would be easier to be a friend with the other person if you've never dated them
Mhm.
and you've never gone to bed with them. And then on a meet and greet, of course, you haven't been intimate together. Okay. But if this is a strategy that you're going to try and use, and they're putting a friend zone out there for you,
Yeah.
and
Friend
that's-
zone is not the end zone. is what
no,
we say.
no. But the friend zone can mean that she's looking for a girlfriend with a penis.
Here we go.
And hey,
You've said
that's
it
what this
on
show-
previous shows.
this
Yeah.
show is all about being upfront, being realistic.
And I think when
And not
you
pulling
said
punches.
don't be a girlfriend with a,
Penis.
then
That's
that
right.
that doesn't work. It's not
No,
good. It's not
no,
healthy, and you're
no.
sure.
And,
Because that's what you become as a guy.
that's what
Now,
you will be.
and that's true
Because
because
you're always going to think,
you started in a relationship and then you backed it up. What if you truly are? And I've talked about it before. I've got some doubts about it. But what if you do really start as friends? Can you go from friends then to?
you can't start as friends. In a relationship, friendship is something that is built. You cannot start as friends.
No,
You
but
can't.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Can you build a friendship first
You
and
can.
then date and then can you de-escalate back to friend zone?
No, you can't.
He's got strict rules.
No,
Strict rules.
no. It's a fact.
truth. It's just true.
Jack.
Okay.
It's a fact, Jack. You can't.
Okay.
You can't go from a friendship to a love story to a life story,
Right.
and then back to friends only.
Right.
No,
Okay.
no, because
All right.
every time you're together again, you're going to want to get back with her in an intimate way.
Yeah.
And she may do or may want the same thing.
Yeah.
But
All right. You're not getting any
don't
gray
fall
here.
for that.
You're not getting any gray. You're
Okay.
getting black and white.
Yeah,
clear answers.
absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely.
What about
Excuse me.
I got some I got some things to figure out in my life. I got to go figure some things out. How does that? If you're trying to exit,
That's a strategy.
yeah, I'm
Is
saying
that what
that's one of the lines we had someone tell us. I got to
Well,
go figure something.
again, you got to remember, if she is into you
Mm-hmm.
or he is into you,
Mm-hmm.
and you're using that, then you're going to put them on the spot, because if they care about you, if they like you, and they were hoping for some kind of a future,
Mhm.
and you say something like that to them, what you're going to do is you're going to provoke them.
Mhm.
Okay, because they're going to say, well, why didn't you tell me that in the first place? Why wouldn't you have said that over the phone? Or why would
Maybe you didn't know.
texted that to me? Well, you know,
Maybe you
generally,
didn't
if
know
you're-
in the first place.
if you're setting up a date in a 24-hour, 48-hour period, you know. what's
Yeah,
going on
okay,
in
but
your life.
let's say it's been streamed. We've done the online. We did the meet and greet. We did chatting. We went on a date.
Uh-huh.
Now we've dated a few times. And
Oh, so
what
you're talking about something down
I mean,
the line.
it could be. So I think what you're differentiating is that saying it early on is BS and wuss words. But if you have been dating for a while and it's midstream and if it's legit, that you're a little 1096, if you're a little goofy, a little loopy,
I'm
then
gonna go back to the 11 headlight here.
Then-
Keep that up.
then it's okay to say that if it's true. I think your main point is be truthful. Pad your
Yeah.
words. You
Yeah,
got a sledgehammer. You're gonna want to put a pillow around the sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Because people need both clarity, but they also need politeness. And
They do.
okay,
They do.
all right,
Yeah. Lack of kindness is not attractive.
right, okay.
At any time in your relationship.
Well,
it's not.
I agree. I
So-
agree. What about, here's another one that we in our vast field research in drinking holes and eating places across the nation. Here's another one that we've heard is, we had some good laughs, we shared some good times, yada, 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 but blank. How does that one work for you as an exit strategy?
Well, give me an idea. How long has the relationship
Let's say,
been
well, obviously it
back?
doesn't apply early on. So let's say it's you've gone on 5 dates or 10 dates or 2 months.
Mhm.
Appropriate?
To say that?
Yeah. To try to say the nice fluff stuff and then you're kind of setting them up for the fall, I guess.
Hmm.
What do you say there? Clutch
There's
Predator?
too many variables there. You got to know the person, you got to know the personality, you got to know how delicate they are.
Mhm.
If they're a real delicate flower
Mhm.
and you hit them with that, you'll break their stem, man. And then you're going to set them back again
Mhm.
for recovery.
Mhm.
How are they to recover from that? Especially since maybe the two people before you did the same thing.
Right.
Uh,
All right. Well, if that's not a good example, what's an example, a positive example? What's another positive example you can think of? Let's
Well, I
say
think if
you've
you've
been
been out-
going for
okay.
several dates, yeah.
Okay, all right. Let's say you've been on somewhere between 5 to 10 dates with
Sure.
someone.
Which
Okay.
for you that's a weekend.
Well, I normally don't go more than 2 weeks.
Okay. All right.
That's the old me now. Now I have this new view of how the landscape has totally changed for me.
Okay. So new Dennis, we're into 2 weeks.
That's right.
Which is like a record.
No,
for you.
no more 2 weeks. No,
All right.
I say no.
So you've been dating
Okay.
for a little bit, and this is new Dennis, not
Um,
old Dennis.
I would say this is what you need to do.
Mhm.
If you've been with someone for maybe 5 to 10 dates, somewhere in that neighborhood,
Yeah.
okay, I think what you should do is you should make arrangements to get them to the table. Get a table, whether that table be in a nice, quiet restaurant in a corner booth somewhere.
This is the public place one. Here it comes. Yep. Okay.
Or if it's at your place, their place, bring a bottle of wine with you, okay? And by all means, when I say show up, I'm talking about you show up with your heart. You show up with your thoughts and your brain and everything that you possess and you own. Bring that to the table because you're putting your future now on the table with her. And where I'm going with this is you encourage her also to be as transparent as she can be. And now let's talk about our issues. So I have issues. These are my issues. This is why I don't think we want to continue our dating relationship more than the 10 dates that we've been on.
Yeah.
Because this thing bothers me.
Yeah.
What bothers you? This is what bothers me. And then you say, but not only that, maybe something else bothers you.
No.
But what can we do about that? Is that something, do you think you can modify in your life? Maybe you could change in your life? Whether it's a mouth click, snoring, I know it goes on. What are you going to do?
I've heard there's some
or
immature
maybe they
ladies
got
out there
that
who
8-pack thing. What do they call that?
CPAP,
CPAP.
8-pack, 2-pack, CPAP.
Love and Eddie with the headlight, remember? Yeah, let's go back to Love and Eddie. But,
I don't want to be defensive, but people with CPAPs are just normal people, Dennis.
Okay.
All right.
But anyway, what I'm saying, I think what you have between 5 and 10 days, you have what we call an investment.
Sure.
So you have already invested time in this person. You've invested a lot in this person, and most likely they've invested in you too. So you don't necessarily individually owe it to each other to talk about what the problems may be, but you owe this thing out here that you built called a relationship. That's who you owe an explanation to, or that's who you need to bring to the table and mend it, fix it, massage it, do whatever you can to it. Or if it can't be done, and they're not willing to change, or you just see that they're not ready for a change. And maybe you're not ready to change the way they want you to change. Right. So then you say, well, how do we say goodbye? Sometimes those words, how do we say goodbye? It's kind of like Andre Bocelli and Sarah Brightman, say goodbye, time to say goodbye. Listen to that song one time, and you'll put yourself right back in her arms, and she will jump into your lap, and you will so be back together,
all right,
ready
again,
to give it another
this
shot.
Is our legal team has reminded us, we need to at these times remind people, some of the advice you might get from Dennis, make sure you don't take this advice and then operate heavy equipment, drive
Or driving
large vehicles, a commercial
yeah,
vehicle.
I know. I saw a
be-
guy I was talking to, and I was just telling him about stuff like this, and I said he was driving his motorcycle, but he was like facing the other way, and I thought, is he really that confident in what I told him that he thinks he could do that? I think it was what do they call those things when they jump up on one?
Clowns?
No,
Clowns?
nuts? So, but anyway, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
If you have invested in a relationship,
Which of course is what it is. You put
It's-
in
it's-
time and
it's
money
an-
and
it's an
emotional investment.
investment.
Sure.
you've invested in their heart, man. They've invested in yours. Don't just throw it away until you know that absolutely there's no possibilities, no chances. But remember forgiveness. Remember the words, I'm sorry. Okay? Because they're important. They're important to the other person, important to you. If you can manage this, if you know something
you can get
is
closure.
unsalvageable,
Yeah, you get closure.
you'll both know. You just walk away.
Yeah.
But
Better to get
don't
closure.
take it casually.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Don't take your relationships casually
Well,
because
okay.
they affect people and they affect you in the long term.
Well, I think this is good stuff. Is there anything else you would say about exiting, Dennis, as we wrap up this
Exiting.
subject?
Wow, what would I say about exiting?
Any other further advice? Beyond that?
Well, I think that if you're going to exit with someone, easy to say. You got to cut it off. You
Yeah.
can't text each other once in a while, or you can't become friends. Once you've had that full-blown loving relationship, or what you think was a loving relationship, to take something less is an abomination, and you really can't do that.
Well, and you're also saying just it's not fair. Just don't let
No,
it
it's
don't
not.
let it limp
It's
off
not.
into
It's
the
not.
dark. Yeah.
Because at some point you're going to sever, and when those moments come, it's hard.
Okay.
Severing a relationship
Sure.
is never easy,
Sure.
and that's why they always used to say, when you get into a relationship, remember that the one who loves less is the one who controls the relationship. I used to believe that a lot, and I don't think that's true these days. I don't think you do either.
No, I don't think
But-
I do, and I think it's a little.
I
It might work,
Yeah,
but it's a
well,
little Machiavellian. It's
yeah,
a little
yeah,
controlling. It's a little,
Yeah,
we don't advocate game playing on the show. Actually, we try to. We think some truth and
no time for that.
yeah. Well,
No.
it's just unnecessary too. We're the kinder, gentler police. We give a customer service survey afterwards. How did you enjoy
Except for
it?
that story on Belmont and Broadway.
All right, we're not going to go there.
Oh, baby.
We cannot go into.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Well, hey, thank
Yeah.
you for having me back on the show.
Of
We
course,
talked
man,
about
you're always
exiting today.
welcome.
Well,
You're
thank
always
you.
welcome. We got some great guests.
And
coming
you're
on.
welcome to come back too.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do have some great guests coming on. If you're on YouTube, please click like and subscribe. Watch us on Instagram, Facebook, www.howlovebites.com. There's
Yep.
a phone number on there as well.
Yes.
Continue to email us and give us your comments, your feedback,
Mhm.
your show ideas. We really enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And if you're searching us, you can search us by How Love Bites, and you can put Dennis, or you can put Steve, or Dennis and Steve. And everything that we've done will pop. And then you can pick and choose if you find there's something that you might catch your fancy.
How Love Bites, Dennis and
Yeah,
Steve.
or your attention.
Yeah. Very good. Well, we will see you next time. Thanks for joining us, and be safe out there and enjoy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.